Do you long for a distant dream that can never reach you? Does the empty space inside your heart still linger after the drama? Will we ever see another light above us after we fall in the abyss? It's not the shadows that scare us in the night. It's the film. It's the dust bunnies jumping on our introverted trampolines. So let's put on our maid outfit and sweep their legs as we wash our guitar in the echo of the distant past and make some Maidcore. Maidcore is the pipeline endpoint for depressed weebs everywhere. It's instrumental post-rock mixed with electronic pop, metal, and lo-fi glitch sounds. All washed in reverb like it's echoing in the hallways with melodies reminiscing of an empty feeling. With heavy, melancholic vibes that would fit in any Silent Hill soundtrack. What makes the Maidcore scene stand out among other depressive genres like Doomer Wave and black metal is that all of the artists have anime-themed maids that are aura farming in their lowest point of their life. But believe it or not, this scene has the most interesting backstory out of all the genres I've covered so far. You wouldn't know looking at Andri the Maid's character that she has existed for over a decade before the music was written. Because, fun fact, Maidcore didn't start as a genre, but as a waifu. Specifically in 2004 on the Japanese Futaba channel board, which is like 4chan except everyone is a lonesome pervert and not a member of the CIA. One maidenless member wished they had a maid to do their cleaning for him. So the lonesome lad quickly sketched out their ideal maid and named her Medoi-san. The name is a pun on the English word for maid, but also means bother or troublesome. It didn't take too long for the users on the board to fall in love and they all created their own maid characters, each one having their own quirks and personalities. Like Yakui-san, who's a drug-obsessed maniac who works in a pharmacy with handcuffs so she doesn't steal the drugs. Osoe-san, who's Junji Ito's worst wet dream, who can add and remove eyes and limbs from her hair. Chikoi-san, who's tiny, Yabai-san, who's a snow owl harpy, and then there's Shitai, she's dead. All and 100 more became part of the Nichi-era maids canon, which is like Pretty Cure but with Madoka Magica filter. I'm not gonna go over all of the hundreds of maids that were made and their 20 years worth of history. If I listed them all and all the fun fact and history, then the dust bunnies would come back again. There's some weird ones out there like a Sonic OC, one with a ball and chain, and a recluse. If you're curious about the art and the lore of the maids, then check out this video by KYDB if you want to learn more. Just know that a massive community formed around these maids and for the next 10 years would mostly remain as a Japanese exclusive community focused on art. Mostly because the English-speaking side is pretty lacking. I found this webpage that has a list of all the maids, but the website is broken. And I found this funny one that had a Q&A section with questions like how many maids are there, and the answer is and for the longest times these maids were mostly unemployed. That is until Russia! The origin of Maidcore music is all over the place, but the surface story goes like this. Around 2015 on the website VK, which is like Russian Facebook, a group of musicians started making post-rock music using the Nichi-era maids as their visuals. One of the first was Andri the Maid and Osoe the Maid. Both uploaded their songs to VK, Bandcamp, and Spotify. And because the internet loves adding the core suffix to any aesthetic like cottagecore, weirdcore, etc., core, it made sense that the name would be Maid plus core. So Maidcore was born, and it's one of the few internet music genres that is both related to its music and community. Well, maybe not a genre. YouTuber SpicyMayo interviewed the maids, and many of them said it's not a music genre due to everyone making vastly different styles of music. You don't make Maidcore, you make music as a maid. They actually joked that they were more of a maid cafe. But just like Nintendo Core, once you make music that has a suffix core on it, they're gonna call it a music genre.
Oh really? This is well.
I haven't seen something this political since the Thatcher government.
Now how did I discover this genre? Believe it or not, it was not recommended to me in the comment section, it was from this Vocaloid metal playlist. I was doing research for a potential video about Vocaloid metal, and for some reason this playlist has Scythe of Luna featuring Andri the Maid on it. After that, I got the song Gambling by KYDB the Maid in my Discovery playlist, and I felt like it was fate that I covered this genre in a Pagefire video. Or to go gambling. Either is fine with me, let's go gambling! So I know I tend to do these videos with heavy sets of humor and irony, but Maidcore is generally a great genre if you love instrumental post-rock, and the lo-fi nature of it makes it feel human, which is very needed right now in this terrifying tech bubble of AI music. So let's shine the limelight in their side and reach the meridian of Maidcore! The Maidcore aesthetic is pretty straightforward, unlike a flagpole in a hurricane. You simply pick a maid from the Nichiura clan, add the maid after the name, and BAM! There's your mascot and band name. However, there's only like 100 of them, and if this genre gets any more popular, then we're definitely gonna run out of names. And I'm pretty sure no one wants to share the custody of the Sonic maid, and most of these gals don't want to work overtime. So when making your OC maid, just find a Japanese word that ends with an I, and then add the maid after it. Luckily for me, my name ends with an I, so I just need to make it Andri the Maid! By the way, I bought pantyhose for this costume, but I forgot to put on it because I filmed half of the music video stuff without it, so... I'm gonna do a spin that makes my beard shorter and this guitar disappear. Also, voice crack. Also, your OC maid doesn't need to end with an I, that's more of a Futaba maid's thing. So there are Maidcore artists that break from this format like Sip the Maid, Naite the Maid, and Bayako the Maid. And there are some artists in this genre that don't have the maid in their names like Kichi and Unashi, implying that some of these maids are jobless and will clean your room for the love of the game. Make sure your art has that 2012 DeviantArt emo-core style blended with anime and maybe a bit of glitchcore aesthetics. And make sure your maid character holds an instrument, have them standing somewhere, or make them look like they fell down a depressive slum where you told them that Halloween will land on Friday the 13th this year. And that's it. You're now a true Iron Maid head. Most of the maids are anonymous and stick to their avatars, so there's not really any music videos or a live scene. So for the first time in Pagefire history, we have to focus on the music. When it comes to the tunes, it's pretty much just instrumental post-rock with some electronic elements, and occasionally metal elements. But there are some features that make it stand out. According to the VK page, the Maidcore genre needs 1. Heavy guitars with washed-down solos. 2. 8-bit or 16-bit synths sampled like it's from old-time toys. 3. Screaming women, either as the focus or in the background. 4. Depressive/aggressive melodies made with synth voices. 5. Breakbeat parts. 6. Growling 808 in 3 ways, whatever that means. 7. Hi-hats in a pile of lo-fi effects, IDM style. That's intelligence dance music, by the way. Not all of the Maidcore songs share these elements. Some focus more on the guitar and others focus more on the breakcore stuff. Some of the maids use Vocaloids, some of the maids sing it themselves, and most of the maids don't sing at all. So you can think of these steps more as guidelines than actual rules. So what are we waiting for? I already have the costume, so let's make our own Maidcore song! It does say heavy guitars, but a lot of Maidcore artists also stick to clean guitars. The rhythm guitars have higher gain, and the leads are clean with most of the effects. One thing I like to do is play the lead with a split bridge, and that way the tone sounds thinner. The bass can either be real or synth. What I like to do is have a more real sounding bass when playing with the guitar, and then use a synth bass for the more quiet sections. the keys for the most part can just be a pad preset. You can have them play the same chords as the rhythm guitars and just leave them under there. For ARPs and melodic stuff, anything that sounds a bit chiptune-esque or whatever fits the style. I find the bell-sounding synth, chiptune synths, and Hoover synths to fit best with the genre. Another common keyboard instrument is the piano! Why did I say it like that? Piano. It's not used to play chords, but just melodies or occasionally lead parts. There are a few ways to do drums. Using a VST kit works well. Anything with a thump and a nice room reverb. Another thing you can do is use a drum loop and experiment with that. But the tricky part here will be adding electronic elements. Maidcore songs borrow a lot from IDM, drum and bass, and trap music with the use of glitchy lo-fi hi-hats and cymbals. There are plenty of ways to do a glitchy hi-hat, just take the sample, chop and screw it until you get a cool pattern. You can use a VST like Glitch 2 or anything similar that glitches it up. But of course, the most important sample you can throw is the Amen break. That's the Powerpuff Girls drums. Make it yourself or use a similar sample. If you use a drum sample like Amen break, then you can always glitch it up on the last fourth measure to create a neat fill. Nice. You don't really need vocals. And now it's time for mixing, and I'm just kidding, here's some vocal tips. I listened to a lot of Maidcore for this video, and in my research there's only like 4 or 5 maids that actually use vocals. That being Osoi, Nakai, Itai, and Andri the Maid, who are the only ones I've found so far. You could add Sight of Luna if you count the use of Vocaloid, but you're probably not gonna use Vocaloid 6 with Hatsune Miku unless you have 200 bucks inside your vacuum. So if you use your real voice, then the most common trick is to drown your voice in delay and reverb. The vocals in their work usually functions more as part of the atmosphere, so anything that sounds gothy or lo-fi should work wonders. And BAM! You got Maidcore! Add some reverb that's messier than Veronique Franz Murders, and then Easy Mix for Easy Master. Oh wait, I didn't use Easy Mix on this one. Ozone Elements for Ozone Mastering of the Universe. No, that one sucks ass. I can't do anything right! As you can see, I tried to make my own Maidcore song sticking to these principles as closely as possible, and it was surprisingly fun to figure out. But now we come to the plot twist of the video, because this is not the main song. It's the B-side. Because I actually wrote 2 songs, and although the B-side follows the principles as closely as possible, the A-side is a little bit different. Anyway, let's go over to the nearest liminal space and film a music video while looking sad.
следует за ним. Облака будут молча, серый цвет моей одежды. Я ухожу и возвращаюсь домой. Даже тихо. Все повторяется снова, двигатель продолжается. Та же белая стена, тот же светящийся ящик. Все тоже скучное дерьмо, те же старые остатки еды.
Congratulations! You made it! Now clean your fucking room! The end!